Welcome back to Whitt Acres. Today we're going to try and fix my floating pond skimmer. We're getting a beautiful day today, blue skies and sunshine after getting an inch of rain yesterday. Huh, Pop, you staying cool? Keep an eye on your cousin. Maverick, get over here. What are you doing out there? Stay close. Now, if you don't know, recently I tried to make a floating pond skimmer for Mumble's Pond to suck in some of the feathers and the grass clippings off the surface of the water. Unfortunately, we didn't have it perfectly balanced, and I think a frog jumped on the back of it, and it ended up emptying all the water out of the skimmer and running the pump dry. Huh, Pup, and that was not good. We ended up losing a pump, and now we gotta start from square one. But thankfully, one of our very generous subscribers sent in a new pump, so now we can try and get this running again. Huh, Mav, stay close. You pup. Oh, the geyser. Gorgeous. Now I have all the pieces of the pond skimmer over here. Everything's taken apart, so we can start over at square one. Now this tote that we're using is already notched down with a weir so we can have the water flowing in. And we are going to be using pool noodles as floaties again, but I did get some new ones so they can all be the same color. Now I have been thinking about this a lot, and I think the mistake that we made last time was we didn't have neutral buoyancy. We need to have most of this tote sunk down in the water and just floating up at the surface enough for it to flow in the weir. And the last pump that we were using was a little bit bigger and heavier, so we're going to be using a smaller pump this time, and I want to try and get that held in place. Mav. Now I think the change that we need to make is adding weight to the tote. We want this tote to actually sink down into the water. We don't want it to be floating whenever no water's inside. So we need to get it sunk down into the water and then have the floaties hold it right at the surface. And that way, if the ducks mess with it or a frog jumps on it, it'll balance back to surface level instead of floating up out of the water. But if they do mess with it and it starts rocking about in the water, I don't want the pump to be moving around. I want that held in place, because if that moves to one side, that'll throw our weight balance all off. And this pump does have little suction cup rubber feet on it, but I don't know if it actually lands in the flat spot of the tote to really hold it in place. So right now I'm thinking I'm going to put some gravel in the tote around the pump, so it's going to hold the pump in the center, but it's also going to add weight to the tote and keep it a little bit lower in the water. And the pump that we used before had a side outlet, and this one has a vertical outlet, so I am going to have to make some modifications. So as per usual, I have a general plan. We just have to see if I can make it work. Huh, Pups, what do you think? You guys ready to get something done? Mav, you aren't very picturesque, are you? Echo Pup knows how to take a good picture. Oh, Mav, you're getting in the way. You pups. Oh, the geyser. Gorgeous. Alright, now the pump that I'm using has suction cups, and I want to use those suction cups to hold the pump in place. But unfortunately, the tote is not flat in the middle, so I have to move the pump to the side to get the suction cups to stick. And since I have it on the side, I did grab these bricks to try and put on the other side so I could have some counterweight and get everything balanced. And that's going to be a little tricky to do, so I think I'm going to test it in the koi pond here and try and get it all balanced and right before we take it out to Mumble's Pond. Need more zip ties. Nice. Let's see if it still floats. It floats. Alright, well I decided to put 2 small holes on each side to bring some water in, even whenever it's not up on the top lip. So I'm going to let those bring in the water and see where we balance. I'm Pup. We'll get this figured out. Sunk. Came back up. It's working. I think it's working. Nice, I think it's working. Alright, I need to get a fern co or something to connect the pipe to the pump. I ended up cutting the wrong fitting, so now the fitting on the pump is too big for the hose. Of course, pal, of course. Thank you. It's not good. I'm gonna have to take the whole thing apart just to get the nozzle on. Ugh. I think we have it floating now. I have the hose hooked up. We just have to plug it in and see if it works. All right, I think we can power it on and test it. Plugging in. Should increase the island waterfall. Got to blow the air out of the line too. The air bubble. Gorgeous. There's still going to be some air in the hose. I might have to work out from the tail feather, try and get that bubble to go up. But the waterfall is flowing right now. Look at that. Well, I got a little wetter than I wanted to. Whenever I slid down the bank here, I went in a lot farther than I thought. But the pump is running right now, and you can see on the island waterfall, it's flowing a lot more. It's just gushing out of there. Now, I still do have the solar pump running the island waterfall at about 800 gallons per hour whenever the sun is out. But this pump is going to keep the waterfall flowing 24/7, and I think it goes up to about 3,000 gallons per hour depending on how much head pressure it has. There's not too much head pressure here since the waterfall is only about 2 feet out of the water, but we do have about 50 feet of pipe in the water. Oh, it looks like we're starting to collect some things in there too. That is awesome. Now, as you saw while I was in there, I was able to push that completely under the water, sunk, and then it floated right back up to the surface like it needed to. So now if we have a frog jump on the edge or a duck get in there and mess with it a little bit, we should have it balance right back out and not run dry. If anything, I think it should sink instead of float, which would be better because I'd rather the skimmer to fail than the pump. But all right, we got it powered up. We just got to give it some time to do some work, and we should see some things collected into the basin. And then I can just reach in there with a net and scoop them out. And to give it a good test tonight, I'm going to weed whack Goose Egg Island, and that is going to send a lot of grass clippings into the water, and hopefully the skimmer will start picking some of them up. Only one way to find out. Huh, ducks? I see you floating over there. And this should help collect some of the feathers on the pond because there's a lot of molting going on. You birds. All right, pup, come on. Hanging out in the shade, making me do all the work in the sun. Oh, and on a side note, we did get the windmill back up, so that is looking gorgeous out here in the cut flower garden. Huh, pup, it's been a while since we had the windmill up because it got off balance and I wasn't able to keep it spinning. So I had to build a base that I could attach the legs to and get it level and stable. And now we can have it spinning out here by the pond and gardens again. Huh, pup, you found a golf ball. Bring. Load up. Good boy. We got to go to the tail feather, pup. We're going to Goose Egg Island. All right, we got Goose Egg Island all chopped down. And that did certainly put a lot of grass clippings in the water. So hopefully we can get some of it to filter out here on the pond skimmer. On ducks. Now this is going to be both a mechanical filter and a biological filter. So it's going to filter some of the physical particles, just the larger particles from flowing through the pump, and hopefully trap them in the container. But I also added the rock and the polyfill, and that has a lot of surface area for beneficial bacteria to colonize on, and that'll help filter the water biologically as well. Of course, it is a small-sized filter for the pond, but I think anything's gonna help. On ducks. Oh yeah, you're loving the increased water flow on Goose Egg Island. Go ahead, ducks. But it seems like we figured out the skimmer here. We just had to find the right neutral buoyancy so it doesn't sink and it doesn't float. And we'll just have to give it some time here to work to see how much it collects. And this is a 150 watt pump, so I think it's pushing right around 3,000 gallons per hour, maybe a little bit less with the head pressure. Of course, the aerator is running all the time, so we have plenty of oxygen here in the pond for the fish, and we did actually add some more fish too. Now, I haven't been able to do a full video on catching fish from Mumbles Pond, but we are going to be continuing that series because we're not fully stocked yet. But I did get out a couple times with Echo Pup to catch a few more bluegill, and even this morning I went out with my dad and we caught 7 more. Echo Pup and I just took a quick trip out before the rain came to catch some more fish, and we did get a few, so we're going to throw them into Mumbles Pond if I can get them out of the bucket. I want to count them. 1, oh, that's a big one, dude. That is a big one. Come here, you're okay, don't spike me. Look at that, that's a breeder pup. Head on in there, bud. We got a couple big ones. Watch your head. Back up, back up, back up. We got a couple big ones in this batch here. This is going to be good for the breeders. Come here, bud. Come here. Pretty good sized female. And then another big one. I think this was the biggest one I caught. Hey, hey. Come here, big fella. Come here, big fella. I know, you're so aggressive. Got some muscle on them. There you are. Head on in there, bud. Good. There's another little one we caught. Ow. Just spiked me, pup. Let's lose some water here. Oh, we lost a fish. We did catch 3 babies inside the trap as well. We'll get them inside. Oh, there's another one. Hold on, pup. How many was that? Was that 5? I think that was 5. Come here, fishies. There we go. I think there's 4 more in here, pup. 4 more. Oh, oh, oh. All right, we're just going in. There you go, fishies. Welcome to Mumbles Pond. Huh, pup? All right, looks like the rain's just starting. We're supposed to get a good bit. Huh, pup? Let's go get Maverick. So with the bluegill that we caught recently, we have, I think, 82 bluegill now in the pond, and we need to get to 100 before we start stocking any predator fish. Huh, Clara? You pretty bird. Losing feathers. Oh, and look at the blooms on the back of the pond. Gorgeous. Huh, Duke? What do you think? Maple and April, you swimming sisters. But alright, the goal was to get the floating pond skimmer back in operation, and I think we accomplished that. We're just gonna have to give it some time to make sure it works. What are you doing, bird? You got a girl laying an egg. You bird. Huh, pup, come on. But alright guys, that's going to be all for this one. If you have any good ideas to add to Mumbles Pond, put them in the comments down below. And if you want to keep following along with everything here at Wood Acres, make sure to subscribe down below. Hit that like button before you leave, and you can see me and Echo on the next one. Thanks for watching. Good boy. To the blueberry. Load up. Good boy.